Hey guys, this is What If Guts from Berserk was an AKAME Ga kill part 4. Let's dive into it. Last left off on a cliffhanger on a side story with Bulat and Guts trying to figure out where or what Griffin is doing in this world and how he got to this world. Now it's going to be a bigger story, and also a lot of plot devices that are in the Berserk universe are going to be used within this universe as well. Like, it's 20 something episodes in this, anime, so it's going to be at least like a 10, maybe 15 part video or series, because increasing the videos are going to get a little longer, focusing on each episode then and there. But let's just dive right into it. So I last left off after Tatsume would have been shown to grow a lot from Guts' training, and Tatsume will eventually become the best version of him even without his Imperial arms, because of the simple training and just vigorous work Guts has been putting him through. On top of that, Guts' story, we're going to dive a little bit more into that. Let's dive into it. So I last left off after Bulat and Guts would have been on their way to track down Griffin. They would have gotten on a boat and would have started to tail behind a boat seller that had some more information about the trafficking of animals and demonic creatures that were being traveled across and overseas by multiple eyewitnesses, saying that they saw things that they couldn't explain, things that are worse and even more dangerous than danger beasts, things that are beyond their wildest nightmares. Guts, knowing this and knowing his past, knowing his experience, and knowing what he's fought in for years, knowing that this world could never even possibly imagine the horrific carnage that his world's demons would cause on their planet or on their universe. So he needed to make a choice to go after Griffin now. If no one else is going to help him, he had to do it himself with the help of Bulat. So Bulat and Guts would have been after the ship, eventually them tracking themselves to the ship and climbing on board. Guts surprisingly being incredibly sneaky, and Bulat using his ability to go invisible and fade in. Bulat and Guts would have eventually come behind multiple and a lot of guards, eventually taking them all out and coming to the main dock area, or coming to the control panel. Them seeing that it was empty and seeing a bunch of bombs strapped to it with a note in Griffin's handwriting. Griffin would have left a note saying it wouldn't be that easy. Guts, as Guts says, tells Bulat to get down now. Them both running out of the dock area, or running off the boat and jumping straight into the water when the boat completely implodes on itself. Guts and Bulat are shocked by this, and Guts gets on a nearby boat they got off on, kind of like a raft, and tells Bulat, "Let's go now." Bulat is confused, saying, "Who is this guy? He has traps laid out. He knows your name. It's like he knows exactly our next move. We've been after this guy for multiple hours so far. A lot of leads have come up, and all of them have been duds. Nothing's happening. We've been at this for almost an entire day, almost 2 days actually. It's about to be midnight." Guts would have said that he needs to find him now, or else your world will see troubles, chaos, and pain and destruction beyond your wildest compassion, your wildest dreams or nightmares. Things that you would possibly never even see in your wildest dreams. Things that are way worse than any danger beast here or anywhere in your world. Without being confused, in our world? As we get switched away from that story, back to Tatsume. Tatsume and Leona would have had their own mission, going after a few corrupt bobs, or a few corrupt members in the capital that are using some sort of gas to pretty much take over women or drug them and use them for things. Basically, manhandling these women and just treating them like trash. Literally, like, straight up like old-fashioned, like some drugged pimps. Like, they were like using these women horribly. Tatsumi being kind of disgusted by the sight of this, and Leone having a dark face with her, you know how anime characters have their eyes shadowed out when they're serious. And Leone says, "We gotta take these chumps out now." Tatsumi being on board, taking out his sword as well. Tatsumi and Leone jump in, and well, a little bit of a Deadpool mob scene pops off. So what happens is, well, Leone and Tatsumi jump in and start to just debunk these boys hella fast. I mean, just starts to rumble, tumble, but bumble them. Tatsumi starts to weave and dodge and move out of the way as fast as possible, pretty much countering and parrying multiple of their attacks, slashing and swiftly moving through all of their advances and attacks. Most of these guys are just slums and kind of bums and kind of pushovers when it comes to sword fighting or even defense in general. These are some trash ass, well, bodyguards. Leone is handling herself, and we see that Tatsumi starts to slice these guys like it's nothing, literally cutting people in two vertically, diagonally, and even cutting them, well, horizontally. Like he's just doing the most. Tatsume is showing his true skill, and originally we see in the fight scene, Tatsume was doing some crazy moves, right? We see that Tatsume is moving even more faster and even fighting a lot more brutal. His fighting is precise and a lot more cleaner and well cut and uniform, but not like Berserk or like Guts. Guts' fighting technique is a lot more based off strength, but also tactic advantage. Being able to use his strength in creative ways to win his fight or win his fights no matter what. So we see that Tatsume uses this mixture of brutality and strength he's gotten from the vigorous training Guts has put him through. He knows how much strength he has. Pretty much simple. Tatsume is around 20% to 30% stronger than his original self, even without the Imperial Arms, since he doesn't have it yet, and Bulai is dead. So, yeah, so put it simple, Tatsume isn't at a disadvantage when it comes to being an assassin without an Imperial Arms. He can even go toe-to-toe with Leone and probably win, to be honest with you, because Tatsume's skill and just pure determination that he got from Guts, he's just going crazy at it. He takes around multiple of the guards and actually leaves little to none for Leone. Leone being impressed by Tatsume's increased strength, skill, and precision. Tatsume slices so hard that he literally slices both of the guys, like the pimps basically, into with one slash, slashing into the first dude, and even the blade moving so fast that it becomes a shockwave, kind of a pressure blade, cutting the guy behind him as well, cutting two people that weren't even that close vertically with one slash in one go, in one hit. Insane work. And Leone being incredibly impressed by this level of strength and precision. Tatsume's cut even being so clean that it looked like it was cut with a machine and done slowly. Like the cut is precise. You see that Tatsume's blade is kind of burning up since he moved it so fast, and Tatsume's muscles start to compult on themselves, or pretty much twist and contude on his body. Because Tatsume is moving inhumanly fast, since Guts gave him a lot of tips with his physical anatomy and also faster movement skills and abilities, or even technique that he can use to make himself pretty much will gain a lot more strength just off of his techniques, his movements, and his stances. So yeah, so Tatsume, he's up there. He's up there. Tatsume is literally Guts' apprentice in this universe, so like he's up there. And Guts is a bad jammer. That nigga cold. Like he cold. He's cold. But with that, we see that they finish off, and Tatsume and Leone are walking back in the middle of the night in the park area. And we see that a little bit of a backstory. Leone actually was friends with one of those women that they took the man from, or yada yada yada. And basically, the same conversation goes somewhat the same. Besides Leone kind of complimenting Tatsume off of his training and his strength, but he also gets a little flirted on by Leone. Leone licking his ear and kind of just toying with him. But Tatsume just tells her to chill as he kind of gets flustered. We get switched back to Mine and Shill. Shill and Mine are running to the park, trying to figure out where their target went, as we see that the girl from earlier that helped Tatsumi out And the capital from last season or last episode is watching them, stalking them even, and is about to, let's just say, thin the herd. You see that mine and she see her pop up, and she throws a insane, and I mean an absolute criminal pop up, bro. She looks at the wanted poster and says, "Well, I guess the other one's a part of your league, right? You took my master away, my hero. You're dead." She instantly goes on a huge monologue, and we really see how freaking crazy this bitch is, bro. She is crazy, bro. Her aura is making the camera shake and shatter, bro. She's crazy. She's insane. You see how Tatsume watches this off of plot. In this continuity, in the story, the domino effect, how it changes and moves and causes patterns to happen a lot differently and to morph in specific ways that we don't even know ourselves. We see that she pops off with a huge trump card, sicking her dog onto them. And they're confused, like, what do you mean, your dog? The dog becomes a freaking monster, bro! Mine is confused, like, what the hell is that? What is this? The monster, or the dog, tanks all of Mine's shots. Mine being confused, like, what the fuck? Shelly, or I'm gonna call her Shelly. Shelly, I'm gonna call her Shill or Shelly. It's gonna be changed in between the, the commentary, but whatever. So we see that they start to go shoot for shoot, band for band, box for box. She starts unloading the clip on them as Shaylee or Shill starts to absolutely one dog this monster. She cuts it swiftly in between, but the monster starts to regenerate very quickly because, well, it's a freaking Imperial Arms. It's not supposed to be taken down by a freaking cut, bro. So we see that the monster comes up behind Shield, and it's about to finish her dead ass. Like, absolutely clock her ass. I mean, it's over. Type shit. It's over. So we see that Shield tries to cut his head off, but the monster just heals that shit right back up. This thing don't go down. The commotion does trigger the rest of the group to figure out where they are, as Tatsume, being as fast as he is with the increased training that he got from Guts, he leaves Leona in the dust and starts to put the jets on, especially since he knows Shield's there. Now, they did kind of grow a lot closer after Shield was training Tatsume, and Tatsume did find her affectionate. And I always, like, if you know the manga, most of the characters didn't die, but I think in both the anime and manga, Shield did die. But it's my fanfiction. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Tasumi starts to run down and starts to panic, seeing that there's a huge commotion, gunshots going off, explosions happening too. As we see that Mind is getting in more and more progressive danger, and is trying to one-shot this animal, this monster, this Imperial Arms, this giant dog, and it's just tanking all of their hits. I mean, she literally shot a clean hole through its chest, and it healed that shit up in less than 5 seconds. The girl is literally saying that she's not impressed. And the dog starts to grow arms. I mean, arms that can actually throw hands. Mine being kind of disgusted by the arms being slimy when they were grown, but we see that Shili tries to jump in and tank the attacks and tries to block them. Her Imperial Arms doing some work, but we see that it is giving her a struggle. The dog is given a whistle, and for simple, he's given a kill command. Mine, knowing that she's in somewhat of a danger, she pulls off her final blast attack, trying to cut or thin the herd, or basically skin this little dog alive, disintegrating it. I mean, trying to take it out now. No casualties. But we see that the monster, even after her unleashing a huge barrage of attacks and in a whole entire flashbang, basically, it still grows back. It regenerates. This nigga's like freaking Deadpool, bro. We see that Shili tries to one-up and pretty much sneak attack the other Imperial Guard or something, and tries to take her out. But we see before this happens, well, something pops off. She goes for a huge attack, about to absolutely shish kebab this girl. is about to just finish it all right here, right now. She starts to dodge and actually block most of her attacks. As he has Imperial Guard, her blades are starting to get overwhelmed. We see that she starts to 1v1 the girl, as we see that Mine tries to keep the monster, or the dog, at bay and takes its attention away. The monster looks back at Mine, and it's simple. Mine's about to get dropped, bro. This monster is ready for the fade. He just in it for the love of the game. The Imperial Guard lady is about to get slum dunked by Shelly, what the fuck her name? Shelly starts to one-up her and she starts to trip up as Shelly's about to hit a clean hit and cuts off both of the Imperial Guard's arms. She's cooked! All of her arms get cut off swiftly, clean, and precisely. But she literally pulls out guns out of the stumps of her arms. That's the experimental procedure she had. She literally has weapons built within her body. It's simple. She probably can't have kids. She probably can't have any level of normal life. Even after she does her due diligence and even, does the capital well, she won't be able to have a normal life, bro. She's cooked. She will forever be a weapon. Because how do you have a literal guns just in your arms chilling? Like, is that literally just for if someone cuts off your arms? Is that dead ass? Like, bro, what? This Brody, who is this Go-Go Gadget? The fuck? Like, she starts to unload a clip onto Shelly. Shelly starts to dodge more and more attacks and tries to block the gunshots as she blocks them very quickly, actually. Wasn't even that bad for real. She was like, are you for real now? As the Imperial Guard lady is absolutely shocked. She's like, holy shit, I'm about to die. She cuts off the 2 guns that the girl had enlarged on her, or in her stumps of her arms, as Shelly's about to finish it now, and is about to put an end to this right here, right now. She pops off as we see that the Imperial Guard lady summons her dog and pits him in overdrive. This dog goes into Super Saiyan, like demon form, bruh. Pulls the entire devil trigger. Devil May Cry style, bro. And he goes Super Saiyan. I don't even know what the nigga called. He has 3 rows of teeth. Freaking kaiju level monster right now. So we see that Mine and Shelly are getting overwhelmed by the sheer force of this creature. And Mine gets grabbed and is about to get absolutely done dirty. So the Imperial Guard girl is laughing as out of nowhere we hear a pretty much sonic boom. And Tatsume jumps in, cutting the monster's arm clean off before Shelly can even get near the area, and he waves fast as possible, trying to thin the herd on the monster as fast as possible. Faster and faster and faster and faster. And since he did this, Shelly wouldn't be in the position she would be in to get shot in the arm by the Imperial Guard girl after she had a gun enlarged in her throat. She had a backup gun in her throat, bro. A backup gun in her throat. So since she didn't get shot and Shelly wasn't caught off guard, she wouldn't get shish kebabbed, point blank, gobbled up by the monster dog. So by that, interference of Tatsume being stronger and faster and being able to get to the position or the area fast enough to give them and buy them time and outnumber the 2, Tatsume with his increased strength and speed would have been able to pretty much divert and pretty much move around the monster as fast as possible, trying to figure out a core. Since he did hear stories of Guts' old life as he did fight monsters that had cores and different trinkets and powers like that. So he starts to try to wave and move around the monster, trying to overwhelm it with a barrage of attacks, swift blows, and just insane amount of overwhelming speed. Tatsume being a lot faster than Guts, and basically Guts wanting to make him better than him. Guts finding himself a younger version of himself in Tatsume, but also finding a type of joy that he never had in his life in Tatsume. So Tatsume was mainly trained to have the same strength, speed, and kind of fighting style as Guts. Guts trained him right, being his apprentice. Guts having to be his apprentice, or Guts making him his apprentice. So pretty simple, Tatsume would have the speed he already has. Tatsume's already fast on from the anime, right? He's even faster, like 30-20% faster. So Tatsume is really going crazy. He's literally slightly over. He's like almost at the point where he's breaking the sound barrier. He's almost there. So we see how Tatsume starts to overwhelm this monster with a barrage attack and starts to shish kebab. I mean, absolutely just deli meat this creature. Just starts to Swiss cheese it. Tatsume switches over and sees at the, well, Imperial Guard lady tries to shoot Tatsume as Tatsume weeds out the way as fast as possible, cutting the bullet in two, as Tatsume is moving so fast that the Imperial Guard lady can't even see his face. He's moving too fast for her to comprehend. She gets grabbed midway, palmed in the face actually, and gets thrown into a straight tree, knocking her ass straight out and causing the tree to collapse on top of her. She should be in critical condition. She was done worse than Abomination when Hulk straight up drop kicked him, or pretty much sucker kicked him into a tree. You saw that scene? You know what I'm talking about. Basically did him like that, did him dirty. Or she did her dirty like that. On the tree like that. And her body just mangled. She's still alive for plot reasons, but you know, she's cooked. So the fight ends there as the monster starts to tweak out, but Tatsume lands a huge attack. Basically using a type of technique Guts taught him to use his entire body weight plus his speed and strength at the same time in midair to cause a sonic strike. Guts has been able to do insane things, but Guts had an idea off of how Tatsume is, well, slightly stronger. He's nowhere as strong as Guts, but he is slightly faster than him. So Guts knew that he should have a type of unique skill that complements Tatsume's increased speed and agility. And he uses this to pretty much do a huge slice, cutting the animal into actually cutting it into, not like just slashing it, I mean cutting it into, going through the entire thing. The monster, or the dog monster, is down for a little bit and is slowly trying to regenerate its body back. Tatsume being kind of tuckered out and using the last remainder of his strength to grab Mine and tell Shelly or Shiel that we need to get the hell out of here now. Shiel and Tatsume and Mine get out of there fast, including Leone, and they get to the rendezvous and they make their way back to the base. So, in conclusion, Shelly isn't dead. But since Shiel was supposed to be the first member of Night Raid that died and really set the tone for the story, doing this, we would see that Tatsume saving Shell would have caused a chain of events that would pretty much pit the favor of Night Raid in their hands, pretty much turn the tides of the war back to Night Raid. Meaning that since Shell isn't dead, the whole power change would have been the same. It wouldn't be shifted. Now, yet again, they would be humbled hella fast since Shelly was about to get blicky because the gunshot was aimed for her, but Tatsume was moving so fast that it got aimed towards him and he sliced it in two, Deadpool style. So yeah, so that's where episode 7 kind of leaves off after we see that Shell isn't dead and Mine doesn't go Super Saiyan with her blast or gun, on top of Shell, basically not dying and then being able to get back to Night Raid and Imperial Capital, or the Imperial Army, or I guess Knights not finding them. So that whole scene in the rain, it wouldn't happen. Now we see that they get back to Night Raid base, and when they get back, they find out that Guts and Bullock have been gone for around a day or two now. So they're confused as Tatsume is told to go, or pretty much the group is basically teamed up to try to figure out how or where to go. Pretty simple. Now, if you're wondering like, oh snap, Tatsume was even in the same area as them doing this entire event. Plot reasons, he was. Don't question me, bro. I don't care. So, basically, that whole conversation with them talking about death and how this is what Night Raid is. People die, people go out. It's not all fun and games. We aren't heroes. We're soldiers. We're assassins. We can get killed at any given moment. We aren't immortal. So after that, thing would have never happened, we see that Guts and Bullock are still on their same mission, but they call it a quits, saying that nothing's going down right now. Nothing's happening. But we see how Bullock tells Guts that he should get back to the night raid, he should get back to the base soon as he's on his way back. Bullock leaves, and we see that, well, Guts is still in the capital. Guts is walking down the street as he hears screaming and blood-curdling screams in the night. As this happens, Guts runs into the alleyway and sees a behemoth of a monster, a demon, ravishing a human being, a human female, or is about to do some godly things to this creature. So he starts to, or this thing, starts to rip this woman apart, trying to claw her heart out, as this woman is literally in critical condition. She can still be saved, but at this point, she'll be in a wheelchair and probably mangled and like physically and pretty much facially deformed for the rest of her life, but still able to be saved. So Guts jumps in with a huge slack of his sword and absolutely one-shots this demon. You know, I have to put like a basis of scaling. Guts, like, and he's that nigga for real. Like, I'm pretty sure if you give Guts like an incentive, he could one-shot that little monster Tatsumi was having a beef with. The only way Tatsumi ever got the one-up on that monster was because of his speed. Just to clarify, Tatsumi is stronger than his base form in the anime, but he's nowhere near as strong as Guts. So we see how Tatsumi, or Guts, sorry. See how Guts walks over to the lady and tells her everything's gonna be okay. He tries to pick her up, but her body is already mangled to destroy. She tells him to let her die. She has nothing to live for anymore. Look at her. Her legs are gone, her arms are ripped apart, her face is slashed and tarted. It's surprised that she could even breathe or talk right now. Gus looks at her saying that I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier. The woman tells him that it's okay and that as she dies. Gus looks at her and is kind of saddened, but he's seen a lot of death his whole life, so he isn't too shattered by it. But it isn't about the death, it's about the idea that these things are already out in the wild. Griffin's already exacted his plan. His plan is something far beyond Guts could even imagine. I won't leave it up here, guys. So I know in part 5 I was talking about Guts being a lot more of a critical point and critical role in part 5 or part 4. But yeah, I had to focus more on Tatsumi, since Tatsumi's character will be increasingly changed by the involvement of Guts even being in his life and being his mentor. So, or being his his mentor. Mentor. Yeah. So pretty much that's what happens. So I'll leave it here, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And as the guy that keeps on commenting under my videos, I will be dropping part 6 to this, or part 5 to this, next week, because I am going to be doing a healthy dose of My Hero, Invincible, different animes, and Guts what ifs, and AKAME Ga Kill what ifs. So I'll be doing a healthy dose of anime what ifs based off of different TV shows, animes. I won't be doing the same exact thing over and over and over again, because I have been doing a lot of Invincible content a lot. So I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys like, subscribe, and as always, guys, have a blessed day. Deuces.